Hey everybody, welcome to Chainsaw Rescue. Today we're out here looking at that Stihl Ms 210C. Alright, I've got it apart. Right now it's like mid-video of the last video. I told you guys I would walk you through on how to replace the gas line on a Stihl Ms 210C. And so that's what we're going to do right here. Full tutorial, okay? First thing, you guys are going to need an 8mm socket. Alright? You're going to need a replacement gas line. Mine's OEM right from the dealer, and I'm replacing the gas filter while I'm at it. And yeah, maybe your scrunch, possibly a needle nose pair of pliers. But yeah, give me a like, hit subscribe, hit that bell, hit all, and let's get into it. Guys, first thing you gotta do is remove this cover, right? It's already off. And drain your gas tank. My gas tank's already been drained. Gonna grab that 8mm socket. Gonna get right in here. Undo the two nuts that hold this piece on for your filter, okay? Now those are off, we got to look at the linkage. That's the next thing we got to work on removing. You've got this link right here that comes down. A lot of times you got to bring that throttle all the way up to the off position. And then mess around here, hold this piece. All right, so you flip this up and this piece pops out of the side. And that whole piece just slides out. Set all your parts aside. You don't want to lose this stuff, right? There's also pretty much the same process if you want to replace the carburetor, right? You're going to pretty much do all this same stuff I'm doing right now. Now, we got to undo the linkage that's here. You might not be able to see on camera, but as you do that, you'll see a piece in the back flapping around. Sometimes you can get in here, hold it down, and sometimes you can pry that linkage off. Sometimes. Let's see if we can get these rubber pieces off right here first. There we go. Give us a little more access here to the side. Put my gas cap in. Don't want a bunch of dust in there. Let's see here. Oh, this model is a little bit different than the newer models. The newer models have a slot right there. This model doesn't. I overlooked it. Instead of unhooking it at the carburetor, unhook it right here at the handle. It'll pop straight up. Straight up and straight out, apparently. We're going to get in here very carefully, pry this rod up. It's plastic. Just a little bit of pressure, not much. You don't want to mess this up, all right? Once it's up out of this groove, stop applying pressure and start working it out carefully. Set that aside. Now, your carburetor should be free. Pull it straight back. All right, gas line's here. Pop that off. Set that carburetor right aside. And wipe this up in here, but be careful not to get anything in where the cylinder is, okay? Sometimes it's a good idea to not even wipe anything off of here. Alright, so that's done. Next, we got to see about getting the gas line out. I'm going to see if it'll just pop straight up for me. Sometimes they do, sometimes they just rip. Actually, let's pull our filter off. Take those long pliers, get down inside. See if we can't get this filter out of here. It's always a fun little, can be a fun little challenge. Come on now. Watch your eyes. Well, the line's going to pop off the filter, and then the filter will be free in the tank, it looks like, but there it is. Sometimes they'll come out that way, and sometimes they're a total pain. This really doesn't have any clogs. We could just reuse this filter, it looks like, but we already have a brand new one, so we're just going to put that on, because that comes with this kit I got. Just a service kit for the MS210. Comes with a new gas filter, new air filter, new spark plug, and then I ordered up the gas line separate. Now, I will have links through Amazon to similar parts. Obviously, they won't be OEM. They'll be aftermarket, but you guys can, order those up and, get them through there if you want. Those purchases help support the channel, and I appreciate it. All right, let's see now if we can get this line out. And what I'm going to try to do is get in here, and I'm going to apply pressure out while pulling the line up. We're going to see what the heck happens here. Alright, looks like we popped that up. I was hoping to not have to remove all this plastic, but it's getting to be a little bit of a tight squeeze there. I might have to. Now I know this line is shot. That's the only reason why I'm going in here with pliers and really cranking on it. There we go. All right. So looking at this, I could tell it was going to go bad soon. Not sure how well you guys can see the checking in the line there, those cracks. It's only a matter of time before gas is leaking. All right. So now the fun part begins. Now we've got to fit this back through. Get this guy back in place here. Which, hey, should be fun, right? Basically, I'm going to just fish it right back down through the same way I pulled it out. Got it back through the first little spot. Now I got to try to get it to seat down in the hole that's in the white plastic below this. Now it would be easier, yes. Remove the handle, remove this plastic, do all this extra work. I still feel like doing that. If I can't get this thing to seat in place down there, then I will. We'll do that. Let's try this first though. Let's see. Now, I know this is dangerous. This is dangerous because you can punch a hole in there. And if that's the case, then I got to buy a whole new one. And that would be a real bummer. Now it looks pretty seated in, but I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to look inside that tank. Stick your finger in there. Feel around. If you got short fingers, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to look down here on the bottom because there's a crack right here and you can see in. I'm going to see what that looks like. Looks like we got to pry it into place just a little bit more. So we're going to do that. Not really prying. We're just kind of gently pressing it in. I'm not using a ton of force here. It should go fairly easy. And that's in. All right. So, what do we got to do next? Well, we got to get the end of the hose back out so we can put the new gas filter on. Take my pliers, gently grip the line, not with too much pressure. We don't want to rip our new hose. Try to get the end of it. Get your new filter on. Now you want that to lay down in, make sure it's in the lowest point of the tank. And ideally, if you can move it around and get it to somewhat lay flat. Sometimes they have a mind of their own, but let's see here. It looks like it's twisted up a little bit on me. All right, looks good. Put this back on. All right, so our gas line is already in. It's not that hard of a job. Next, we've got to put the carburetor back on. Now you got to look at the carb and figure out, geez, which way did this thing go on here, because I wasn't paying attention. Looking at it, the little tube coming off the carburetor should be on your left hand side. Gonna pop your gas line back on there and work the carburetor back into place. Okay, just like that. Now the fun begins. We got to start making all these little parts fit back together. I'm going to try to get this linkage back in here. And this we're going to have to fish through. So we may actually have to pull the carb off to get it in. Nope. Pull the carb forward. It pops right in. I say may because sometimes, you know, it always seems like everything doesn't always work the exact same way every time. In this case, this linkage keeps popping off on me. Need on those pliers. Pop it in place. Squeeze the trigger so that piece comes up. Pop that linkage in. Popping that linkage in right there. That's what I was doing, right? So it's hooked on the side. It's popped on here. Before we get too many other pieces in, let's try to get this vent and these rubber covers here for our adjustments back in place. This can be a little tricky. It's rubbery and it has some give, so that's a plus. So kind of work that in a little bit. So we've got that pressed in place. Lined up. Now we got to grab that other small linkage in that black throttle rod here, okay? We're going to take that black throttle rod, go underneath the linkage you already put in place, and lift this little metal tab right here. Lift it up very slightly, not a lot, and start working this in and over. Squeeze the trigger down. So you're doing quite a few different things here all at once. You squeeze the trigger down. Carefully pop that in place, okay? Make sure it pops around without popping it back out. This is moving. Everything looks good. Let's take that other little rod. Find the hole because it slips inside this black piece. Move this forward with your finger. Kind of slide the rod down. Pop it through the hole, squeeze your trigger, make sure everything looks like it's working. Do your choke, everything's working. Okay. Now, if this wire pops out, this tiny wire pops out of that rod, it's okay. Turn it, and it should slip right in these grooves right here. You gotta fart around with it just a little bit sometimes. But get it back in there, because this is your kill switch. So when this goes up, you get metal to metal contact. Alright, and that's what shuts your saw off. Okay? Alright, so our new fuel line is on. You need to put this air box with our air filter back on. Grab your nuts. 8mm socket. I usually like getting them started by hand. Now they don't have to be super tight. Tight is tight in this case, all right? You're tightening down plastic to metal. I want them snug. Boom. All right. And that's how you replace the gas line on your Stihl Ms 210C. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If so, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know how it helped you. And hit subscribe. When you guys hit subscribe, hit that bell, hit all. I'm trying to grow this new channel. If you don't know, I have another YouTube channel. It's called KyleHallWoodworker, where we do a lot of chainsaw carving. I probably should have called it like Chainsaw Hall or something else like that, but anyway, it's KyleHallWoodworker. We do a lot of chainsaw carving. We build some rustic furniture, do a lot of how-tos and teaching people how to chainsaw carve as well. So if you enjoyed this and you want more, hit subscribe. If you want to check out some chainsaw art, be sure to go check out that channel. Really appreciate you guys watching. Really hope this video helps you out. Hope you guys have an awesome day. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.